Hello, hello, good morning, happy Thursday morning. I need to move the screen a little bit. Hello. I have a very needy dog this morning, so we're going to see what JoJo does during this flow. This is going to be such an easy, peaceful, grounding flow. The theme for this week's flows is connection. So we're really going to focus on connecting our breath to our body, connecting our minds to our body, finding this place where we can tap into our parasympathetic nervous system, which gets us out of that fight or flight lizard brain and into a place where we feel safe in our bodies. So as he settles down there, if you would like to find a comfortable seat yourself, lay down. You can sit cross-legged. You can find, I've got a block underneath my sits bones. You can find a pillow or a few blankets, just stack them up underneath your hips. Wherever's comfortable for you, just find a nice tall spine. The goal here with supporting your hips is to get your knees lower than your hips. So if they're doing this, find a way to elevate your hips enough that they're above your knees. Knees are below your hips. So find a nice tall spine wherever you are. Take a moment to settle in. You can have your hands wherever they're comfortable. And close your eyes. Taking a moment to focus on our breath here at the beginning of this restorative practice. Acknowledging anything that's present in your body or your mind this morning. Seeing if you can let it be there without any judgment or without attaching yourself to it, but just noticing whatever is there. Deepening your inhales. Nice long exhales. If it's comfortable, you can inhale through your nose and out your mouth. If that's not comfortable for you, find what works for you. It's definitely allergy season in Tennessee, so if you're a little stuffy, breathing however you need to breathe. Thinking about this incredible extension through your spine that matches your breath. So every single inhale, you find a little more space, this sense of energy spiraling up your spine from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Then bring your right palm to your heart, left hand to your belly. Taking a few more breaths here. Noticing the movement of your chest and your belly underneath your hands. Maybe noticing your heartbeat underneath your right palm. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open mouth, side out. Take one more inhale through your nose. Pause at the top. And open mouth, exhale. Start to breathe in and out your nose as long as that's comfortable. Gently flutter open your eyes. On an inhale, bring your arms overhead. And an exhale, bring them through heart center. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, hands through heart center. One more time, inhale overhead. Exhale through heart center. This time overhead. Interlace all 10 fingers. Press your palms to the ceiling. I know you can't see them, but they're doing this overhead. Finding a nice stretch all the way down your arms, all the way down your spine. Tuck your chin just a little bit towards your chest. And if you find your shoulders creeping up towards your ears, see if you can keep them rolling down your back, releasing away from your ears. Take an inhale. Gentle exhale. One more breath in. And exhale, slowly release your arms. Inhale them overhead. Finding a really gentle seated twist, left palm comes to your left thigh or knee, right hand is behind you. Maybe fingertips brush the floor or whatever you have to support you. Just going as far as feels good, so no need to deepen this twist any more than what grounds you here. Gaze can reach back towards the wall behind you, or it can stay more neutral. Sometimes there is more to be found and more work to be done when you sit with yourself however you are, instead of just trying to constantly push yourself to where you think you should be. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. On your inhale, arms come back to center all the way overhead. And exhale, rotate the other way, right palm to right thigh. Left fingertips reach behind you. Again, really gentle twisting this morning. You don't always have to live on the edge. We don't always have to practice on the edge. While you're in this twist, take a moment and notice if you are leaning to one side or the other, and see if you can find a nice tall spine even in a gentle twist. Take one more breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, release the twist, arms overhead. And exhale, bring your palms all the way through center. You can let them rest on your thighs. Go ahead and drop your chin to your chest, finding a nice stretch down the back of your neck. And if you did this with everything else, bring that spine up nice and tall. Pull your shoulder blades in and down your back, just letting that head fall forward. And then taking your right ear over to your right shoulder, finding this nice gentle stretch down the left side body. You can stay right here or bring your right arm up and over. And you're not pulling your head down. You're just letting that gentle weight of your hand rest on your head to get a little extended stretch in your neck. Still staying centered through both sits bones. And slowly release that side, come back through center, move to the other side. Left ear drops towards the left shoulder. You can stay right here or bring that left arm up and over so your palm rests on your head. Finding a little deeper stretch. One more breath. And slowly release. Come back to center. And we're going to come off of your block or your blanket, or if you don't have anything underneath you, that's totally fine. Move it out of the way if you do. And go ahead and roll down onto your backs. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Find a nice, gentle pull towards your chest with your palms. And starting with some really soft, tiny circles in your knees. Moving in both directions. This should be a really nice release to your lower back. Little lower back massage. Make sure you're switching directions. Coming back to your breath as this anchor point throughout your practice. Are you holding your breath? If you're holding your breath, please start breathing again. And then bring some extra length into the breath. Coming into some nice gentle supine twists. On an inhale, bring both knees in towards center. On an exhale, let both your legs fall to the left side of your body, arms out to a T. On your inhale, move back through center. Take them to the other side. If you need to shift a little bit, go ahead and do so. We're going to go back and forth for a few breaths. Inhale back to center. And exhale over to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale them over to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. One more side. Inhale. Exhale all the way to the right. Inhale to center. This time, exhale to the left, and we're going to pause here for a few breaths. So you can bring your left palm to rest on your left thigh if you choose. My arm is at a cactus over here, but take it out to a T if you have the space. Drop your gaze over towards your right arm, so the opposite way than what your knees are pointing to. And breathe. Couple more breaths. If you find your mind wandering or becoming restless, see if you can acknowledge that. And then see if you can let it go and find some space. Slowly on an inhale, bring your knees back to center. Take a moment, maybe take some of those small circles. Next breath in, hug your knees to your chest. And exhale, gently drop them to the right. Again, shift however you need to shift. Left arm out to a T. Right palm can come on top of the right thigh if you choose. Gaze falls towards your left hand. Eyes can close. And again, on this side, if you find your mind wandering to today's to-do list or to lunch or to anywhere off of your mat, see if you can let that thought just float by like a cloud. And find some space. If finding space seems awfully nebulous, maybe you bring your attention directly to where you feel the breath entering your body, wherever that is for you. And then leaving the body, wherever that is for you. You might feel it in your nose. You might feel it more strongly in your chest or your belly. Wherever you feel it, just bring your awareness there on the inhale and the exhale. Take one more breath in. Empty out the breath. And gently come back to center. Hug your knees in one last time for these sweet little circles. And coming into a half pigeon pose next. So I'm going to roll up to do the traditional way, but I'm going to show you the reclined version first. So if you'd like to stay on your back, if this feels really good and you don't want to move back up, just stay right here. You're going to take your right foot across in a figure 4 and keep that right foot nice and flexed. This will protect your right knee. Keep that left foot flexed as well, so your toes are coming up towards your knee. And then either reach for an interlace underneath your left thigh, or if you have an old t-shirt or a blanket or a strap, if you have a strap, you can take that strap around your thigh. And you want to think about pulling your left knee towards your chest while simultaneously pressing this right knee away from you. So this is a pretty deep hip stretch. If this interlace isn't working for you with any modifications, you can bring your left foot down to the ground. Just hang out right here. So this is your reclined half pigeon, and once we switch sides, it'll be the same thing on the other side. If you'd like to do traditional half pigeon, still got your knees into your chest, find a gentle rock and roll up and down, and just come up to a nice seated pose all the way over to a tabletop pose. And we're going to bring our right knee towards our right wrist and then extend that left leg out behind us nice and long. So if this creates any pain in your knees, please move on to your back. If you have a lot of space, if you get into this and you're like, my hips are up here, that's fine. Find something to place underneath your hip so that your thigh can be parallel to the edge of the mat. So you want a nice straight line that matches the straight line edge of your mat. So anything can go under your hip. It doesn't have to be a block. Finding this nice, gentle opening of the hip wherever you are. Take a look behind you at your left leg and make sure that it's also, the edge of your left leg is extending down to match the side of the mat. So a lot of parallel lines here. You can stay upright for all of this. Maybe grab that block for me today. Find a nice open heart regardless of where you are. You can stay right here upright. Or you can release, fold forward towards the mat. We'll be here for several breaths, so find a space that challenges you just a little bit, but that you can sustain as well. So gently melt into this pose. We store a lot of tension, a lot of emotion in our hips. So if things come up unexpectedly while you're holding this pose, don't be too surprised. Meeting whatever comes to you with that same sense of spaciousness that we've been finding this whole practice. If you haven't spontaneously cried in half pigeon yet, I promise it'll happen someday. Extending so much self-compassion to yourself for whatever comes up for you here. One more breath right here. Inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh it out. If you're folded forward, slowly walk your hands back to center. Gently remove anything that's underneath your hip. Come on out of this pose. If you'd like to go into a down dog, three-legged down dog, you can, but you can also just come back into tabletop. Take some gentle hip circles. If you're in reclined half pigeon, windshield wiper your knees side to side. Coming back to neutral here, setting up for the other side. Left knee comes to the left wrist. Right leg extends nice and long, nice and parallel to the mat. This side will be different. It's not a question of if, it's a question of how. So find any space you need. Find that nice open heart here first before you fold forward. You can also stay with this nice open heart if that feels good to you today. If you want to fold forward, go ahead and melt your heart towards the mat. Settling into this sense of spaciousness and self-love. There's a BKS Iyengar quote that's one of my favorites of all time, and it's, think of yourself as graceful and expanding, no matter how unlikely that may feel at the time. So I invite you to feel into that sense of grace and expansion right here in this pose, and maybe you take that off your mat today too. Meeting these heavy times and thinking of them as an opportunity for grace and an opportunity to expand, even though it might seem so unlikely right now. Those opportunities are there. One more breath right where you are. Inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Slowly walk your hands back to center or bring your knees back to center if you're on your back. Removing anything underneath your hip and slowly coming back to either a three-legged down dog or a tabletop. Shake out that hip, find some hip circles. And if you are on your back, go ahead and roll to your side. Find a way to come meet us in a nice tabletop position. So your hands, your palms are stacked underneath your shoulders. Fingers are spread nice and wide. And your knees are underneath your hips, finding a nice tabletop. And we're going to move through some cat and cows here, matching breath to movement. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts to the ceiling. Exhale, press into the mat, spine round, shoulders round, head folds. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts. Exhale, spine round, shoulders round, head drops. Several more rounds. Match your own breath to the movement, so no need to follow me exactly. And while you're moving through these, think about the movement originating in your tailbone. So that's where everything starts, and then it gradually moves all the way down your spine, all the way to the crown of your head. It's like this wave that travels down your spine. Notice your connection to the mat through all of this. Can you strengthen that connection? Find that solid foundation. You can stay with these or take some gentle shifts back and forth, side to side. Maybe some big hip circles. Find some movement that matches your breath here. No wrong answers, just play around. And next couple of breaths, come back to a neutral spine. Make your way to a seated pose. We're going to start with our left foot in, right foot out to a 45-degree angle. Toes are nice and flexed towards your face. Rotate your chest so it faces your toes. Take a nice deep breath in, find a long spine. And exhale, forward fold, starting to walk your hands towards your extended foot. If this is as far as they come, that's perfect. Wherever you are, that's your practice. So it doesn't matter how far you go. It doesn't matter if you're reaching your toes. Just finding that nice hamstring stretch and this nice lower back stretch back here. Three big breaths together here. Inhale, find length in your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, length. Exhale, fold. Hold for one breath in this nice forward fold. And then slowly walk your hands back to center. Sit up nice and tall. Switch sides. Right foot in, left foot out long. 45-degree angle. Flex your toes towards your chest. Rotate your chest towards your toes. Square off your shoulders. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, start to walk your hands towards your extended foot. Once again, no matter where you are, it's the perfect place to be. No wrong answers here. Find where you need to start. 3 breaths together on this side. Inhale for length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, length. Exhale, fold. One breath in your forward fold. And slowly come back to center. Bring your legs out in front of you, both of them extending straight out in front of you, toes point up towards the ceiling. Find a nice tall spine. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way back up. Inhale, stretch, reach to the ceiling. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, fingertips reach to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold and hold for a breath here. Big inhale. Big exhale. Slowly come back to center. And moving towards our final resting pose. First option, bring your feet together, knees out wide, Supta Baddha Konasana, right palm to your belly, left hand over your heart. If this is too much in any part of your body, bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Knock your knees together towards the center. If this doesn't work, bring your legs out long, just find Shavasana. You can bring your hands to your sides or let them rest on your belly. Everybody's going to be different here, so there's no wrong answer. And it'll probably differ from day to day. If there are any final movements you feel like you need this morning, please go ahead and take them. If you are ready for stillness, find whatever pose speaks to you for your final resting pose today. Settling into that shape. Bringing our awareness one final time to this sense of connection through expansion. Noticing the ground underneath us, the earth underneath us, holding us up, holding our weight. That's what it's there to do. Letting ourselves be held. If they're not closed already, go ahead and close your eyes. Taking one final breath together in just a moment. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you please, as long as you need this morning. Taking this final breath, inhale through your nose. Pause at the top. Take in one more sip of air. And open your mouth, sigh it out, exhale. Take up some space. Shavasana. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Please stay in Shavasana as long as you need. I will see you all next time. Have a beautiful day.